you're right, it is a response. Crying is a response of the emotion. So if you can't even respond to the emotion, it's very unlikely for him to be able to navigate through those emotions. And do you all are I want to ask the men, like, is it okay for y'all to do you feel like you can express your emotions without getting angry and fighting? Like I asked a young man, can he be more protective to black women? And what would you do if you saw a guy beating up his girl at the gas station? He said, I'm not getting in that because he could attack me. She gonna go back, stuff like that. So I said all that to say, like, we aren't. I don't know. I got lost, but go ahead, y'all. Go
You're
ahead.
not emotionally intelligent. It's okay. So y'all love to sit
I'm
here
not.
and say, "Well, on paper, we women are more emotionally than you." Well, like I said, y'all commit the more deletions than cancer, car crashes, and police and gang members all together. Whether it's abortions or whether you'll literally wait for your children to be 5 and then just drown them in the damn tub. So men ain't doing none of that stuff. We do certain violence, but we don't
We
do
don't
that
do that
violence.
violence.
We don't
We don't
commit
commit
You
violence
can't,
violence
because you
towards
towards
can't
kids.
have an abortion. So what are you talking about? You just
What
brought up
what is
abortions.
what is your
You
point?
obviously you obviously cannot have an abortion because you're a man. So why are you
What is your
even
point?
utilizing that and putting that in this conversation? Abortions have nothing to do with this.
Abortions does
Abortions
have
does
something
have
to do with
something to
this.
do with this.
Has
See,
nothing to do with this.
okay, can
Okay,
you
can
mute
you
for a
mute for
second?
a second?
So
So
the reason
the
why I'm
reason why
bringing
I'm
up
bringing up
abortions, there's feet. There we go. The reason why I'm bringing up abortions is because women use abortions as birth control because they can't control their emotions. They see a dude, whether it's sex or he's this or he's that, and she's going to give up the ass without thinking, without having a certain amount of emotional discipline, and she's going to let some loser dude that she met at a party nut in her. Next thing you know, she's pregnant. And what does her dumb ass do? Time to get an abortion. Why? Because it's not about the abortion itself. It's about the stupid dysfunctional behavior that got her pregnant by a random dude in the first place.
Okay, so I'm just
I'm
I'm
not,
not.
I'm not done. I'm not
I'm
done.
not done.
Can you mute
Can you
back?
mute
Because it's
back? Because
feedback.
it's feedback.
It's feedback.
It's feedback.
Mute. Thank you. So over 300,000 abortions happen per year. And then if you add, like I said, children going to foster, getting up for adoption, and then how many women literally just get out of here. Those 3 scenarios there, it has everything to do with a woman's emotions. So women are the most emotionally unstable people on the planet, and y'all want to sit here and say we can't control our emotions? At least we delete adults when we get upset. Y'all delete children when y'all get upset.
Mr.
Can I,
Lego, men don't go ahead.
I do want to say this. I hear this often, like we use this talking point a lot about, abortions and things like that. Let me be very clear. The people who actually have the most abortions are married women. So when we're using it as an ad
White
hominem
men.
to attack single women and things like that, it really don't even hit. Even like down to pregnancy and some. I think it was mentioned earlier about black men and violence. When you guys are using those extreme points to make a point, you conflate not even black men. When the school shooting thing came up, and you're talking about women and pregnancy, you guys are interjecting mental health. So mental health should not be the ad hominem to address emotional intelligence, because it's been scientifically proven that when a woman's pregnant, her whole brain rewires. The same way, I wouldn't think that a person who is a mass shooter is actually a person who has a stable mental mind. I just wouldn't think that that person is actually sane. If you're walking around, you're able to do that. So
But
I
that's why
don't.
men
Wait,
go ahead.
Ali, can I finish?
Sure.
Thank you. So I would say, in regards to this conversation, I get like we do this whole gender war thing and we go back and forth about men and women and we attack each other. But realistically speaking, I think that conversation can be had without taking the most extreme things and using children as the base point, as well as using obscene and extreme situations to justify whether or not women are emotionally unstable or not, or whether men are emotionally unstable or not.
Okay, I just want to address the war part and the part about when men show violence. You're right, that is a mental health issue, and that stems from when you're not able to express your emotions. A lot of it stems from that. That's why it's a lot of mental health issues in our community, because when we express ourselves, there's repercussions for it. So we do have a lot of bottled up trauma that we need to heal as a community. So I finally figured out why I brought up that gas station situation. So I asked that young man, would you protect her in that situation? He's like, no, I don't want to get myself in harm's way. But why does it have to go to that? Why can't you protect her by calling the police or going into the gas station, letting them know, the attendant know, hey, it's a problem out there, having them call the police? Y'all first instinct is to fight or, like against men. So I think that's a lot of the emotional intelligence deficit. Like if you are able to articulate your emotions without violence.
Yes.
Go ahead. I'm a mute. Go ahead, Trev.
Okay. The only reason I didn't want you to keep going on about that is because people bring this topic up all the time, and I try to shut it down every single time. We're behaving as if men are like super violent, barbaric, and everything else, right? Humans are violent. And here's another stat for you. If you were to take, because I've said it here before, but you haven't heard it. If you take the most violent relationships, period, it's women in relationships with other women. They have the most violent stats. You could look it up now if you want to, but that's what it is. The only reason why women are not as violent recorded is a lot of men don't report it. And simply women are not very effective at violence. But rest assured, if women could beat the hell out of us, they would. They would be dragging us to hell if they could. It's just the fact that women are not very effective at violence. So that's not a smart option for them. So we don't want to make it seem as if men are just inherently more violent than women.
They
Also,
are. They are. Wait, they are. You are, because I got the statistic right here. If you mute yourself real quick, recent global estimates, and this is a government website, suggest that between 25 and 38% of women experience some sort of violence perpetrated by their male partners, but that's just partners. We're not talking about women before the age of, in the Black community, before the age of 18 is either raped, violated, or has some type of sexual assault by the men in their family. So, and then who commits the most rape? We could look that up. I'm sure there are men who get raped. I'm not negating that.
That's why we're saying that that's not right, Ali, because Black men specifically are the least, American Black men are the least cooperative demographic with anything reported in the United States, whether it's voting, whether it's the census, whether it's any type of random data or statistics.
But you just said don't let nobody else.
Give me 1 second. I understand the numbers. Listen, as much as we are passionate about these things, we must understand the numbers will always be skewed because they take the numbers from a populace of what is going to be reported, and we never address the fact that a lot of times documents are misplaced, documents are lost, they never get filed, or it simply goes unreported. So even when we're talking about the violence that Black girls experience, those numbers are still relatively off by a larger margin, regardless of what is documented. Furthermore, we always try to make this seem as if men are so inherently violent when it shows women, 7 out of 10, are actually the ones to initiate domestic violence. And secondly, women perpetrate more violence on children than men in every demographic, in every race across every age, women are actually more violent towards children, and lesbians have the highest domestic
What does that
violence.
have to do with the topic? We're talking about
What?
We're talking about. Hold up. We're talking about Andre. I don't know feedback. But we're talking about men not being able to express their emotional intelligence.
No, we're talking about
they're having mental
women
issues.
not being able to express their emotions. It's about women not being able to express their emotions. Not men.
It's not women, because we're coming. The men, it's going viral. We're coming to men saying, "Hey, you need to be more emotionally intelligent." That's what it is. Women shame men. I don't think it's shaming. I think we're coming to you, asking you to be more emotionally intelligent, and you giving us backlash on it and saying, "Well, y'all don't have emotional intelligence, and y'all beat y'all kids." No, like Mr. Marcus said, you as a leader need to be able to control your emotions. The art of war it says it very clearly that you convince your victim or your opponent to kill himself and make himself the victim.